I have tried to look like Lucy. I even use the same beauty cream Lucy uses, but nothing works. You know that ugly skin on your elbows?
She made America laugh for decades, but behind that iconic red hair and infectious smile lay a woman haunted by her past and fighting for dignity in her final chapter. Lucille Ball, the queen of comedy who conquered Hollywood and built an entertainment empire, faced a heartbreaking descent in her twilight years that few fans ever witnessed. What really happened to Lucy in those final years? Was it the curse of fame, the ghost of a tumultuous marriage, or something even darker lurking beneath the surface of her picture-perfect public image? Tonight, we reveal the shocking truth behind America's favorite redhead's last days, a tale of faded glory, broken dreams, and one final, desperate attempt to reclaim the spotlight that once adored her. By the 1980s, Lucille Ball was no longer the unstoppable force who had revolutionized television. The woman who once ruled the airwaves with I Love Lucy and built Desi Productions into a powerhouse that gave us everything from Star Trek to Mission Impossible was now struggling to remain relevant in a rapidly changing entertainment landscape. Her phenomenal success seemed like ancient history. The woman who had become the first female head of a major television production company was now watching her influence wane year by year. Her legendary perfectionism, once her greatest asset, had become an obstacle in an industry increasingly dominated by younger executives and changing audience tastes. In 1986, ABC offered Lucille what seemed like a golden opportunity, a new sitcom called Life with Lucy. The network, believing in the enduring power of the Lucy brand, took the unprecedented step of giving her complete creative control without even requesting a pilot. It was a level of trust that reflected her legendary status. But what should have been a triumphant return became a devastating blow. Life with Lucy was savaged by critics and rejected by audiences who couldn't reconcile this aging performer with the vibrant comedian they remembered. After just 8 episodes, ABC pulled the plug in a humiliating public cancellation. It was devastating for her, recalled a close friend who witnessed Lucy's reaction to the show's failure. She had built her entire identity around being America's favorite television star. When that was taken away, she didn't know who she was anymore. The professional disappointment would have been difficult enough for anyone to bear, but for Lucille Ball, it was compounded by painful personal losses that left her increasingly isolated. Her marriage to Gary Morton, while more stable than her famously turbulent relationship with Desi Arnaz, had settled into a comfortable but somewhat passionless arrangement. Friends described it as more of a business partnership than a romance in later years. Gary managed Lucy's career and provided stability, but the fire that had characterized her relationship with Desi, for better or worse, was noticeably absent. Yet despite their divorce decades earlier, Desi remained the great love of Lucy's life. Their relationship defied conventional understanding, a passionate, creative partnership torn apart by alcoholism, infidelity, and the pressures of building an entertainment empire, yet bound by an unbreakable emotional connection that lasted until Desi's death. I once sat down with Lucy when she was 66, recalled a journalist who interviewed her. Just mentioning Desi brought back a flood of emotions. When Desi and I got married, we had nothing, she told me, her voice heavy with emotion. He was just this kid with a band in New York. We built everything together. When Desi Arnaz died of lung cancer in 1986, Lucy was devastated. Their final phone conversation, where he told her, "I love you too, honey," became a bittersweet memory she clung to. Though they had been divorced for 26 years, his death left a void that nothing could fill. "It was as if part of her died with him," said one longtime associate. "They had this connection that transcended their marriage, their divorce, everything. Without him, even at a distance, she seemed lost." As Lucy entered her late 70s, her health began to deteriorate in ways that were particularly cruel for a woman whose physical comedy had been her trademark. The performer who had masterfully controlled every muscle in her expressive face now found her body betraying her. In 1988, Lucy suffered a heart attack that required emergency surgery. The procedure was successful, but recovery was slow and difficult. For a woman who had always prided herself on her energy and vitality, the physical limitations of aging were especially difficult to accept. She hated showing weakness, recalled her daughter, Lucy Arnaz. "Mom was always the strongest person in any room. When her body started to fail her, she fought against it with everything she had. Her declining health forced her to confront her mortality in ways that troubled the fiercely independent star. Friends noticed she became increasingly preoccupied with her legacy, often reviewing old episodes and memorabilia from her glory days. The contrast between the vibrant performer on screen and the aging woman watching those performances was a source of both pride and profound sadness. On March 29, 1989, Lucille Ball made her final public appearance at the 61st Academy Awards. The audience erupted in a spontaneous standing ovation, a genuine outpouring of love for the woman who had transformed American entertainment for generations. Yet behind her brave smile, those closest to her saw something the cameras missed. Pain and exhaustion etched across her face. Lucy had been reluctant to appear at all, painfully conscious of her frailty and deeply concerned about how she would be perceived by millions of viewers. She was terrified of being seen as old or irrelevant, recalled a friend who helped prepare her for the event. Lucy spent her entire career in control of how people saw her, and aging took that control away. That night at the Oscars, she knew it might be the last time the public saw her, and she was determined to leave them with a memory of elegance, not decline. It took considerable persuasion from her family to convince her to attend, but true to form, she summoned the strength to make one final bow before her adoring public. The applause that night seemed to acknowledge not just her comedic genius, but her pioneering role in television history. Just weeks later, on April 18th, Lucy experienced severe chest pains and was rushed to Cedars-Sinai Medical Center. Doctors discovered a dissecting aortic aneurysm, requiring immediate surgery. The initial 7-hour procedure seemed successful, giving her loved ones a moment of hope. But on April 26th, complications arose when Lucy awoke with excruciating back pain. She soon lost consciousness and died at 5:47 a.m. from a ruptured abdominal aortic aneurysm at the age of 77. What many of Lucy's fans never knew was how deeply she struggled with the loss of her creative outlet in her final years. Television had not just been her career, it had been her primary means of self-expression and connection with the world. Lucy didn't know how to live without performing, said one longtime colleague. She never developed hobbies or interests outside of work. Entertainment wasn't what she did, it was who she was. This singular focus had served her well during her meteoric rise, but left her vulnerable when opportunities dried up. Unlike some of her contemporaries who gracefully transitioned to elder statesperson roles or found fulfillment in philanthropy or family life, Lucy continued to measure her worth primarily by her ability to command an audience.
I'd like to talk to someone, please.
I'm Peter Venkman. May I help you?
Could you excuse me for a second? I'm right in the middle of something, Ray.
Bill Murray shocked the entertainment world by revealing a surprising connection to Bruce Willis. Willis once worked as a page at NBC, refilling M&Ms and pretzels in Saturday Night Live dressing rooms, including Murray's. Murray shared this Hollywood gem during his March 31st appearance on Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen.
Really always understood Bruce Willis was a page at NBC.
Wow.
When I was on Saturday Night Live.
No way.
Yeah, he was a page.
Wow.
And his job was to come and to refill, this sounds like insane, but his job was to come and go to the dressing rooms and refill the M&Ms and pretzels kind of thing in the actors' rooms.
This surprising link between two Hollywood stars dates back to the late 1970s, when Murray was on SNL, 1977 to 1980, and Willis was a young man trying to break into the industry. What makes this throwback story particularly touching is the personal element Murray added about their later reconnection.
And I remember when I met him after he was already a successful guy, he said, "You and Gilda were nice to me." And I thought, okay.
His voice filled with emotion. This simple act of kindness toward a young, unknown Willis clearly made a lasting impression on the future action star, creating a bond that would eventually lead to their professional collaboration decades later. The revelation offers a fascinating look at Willis's humble beginnings before he became a Hollywood star with roles in Moonlighting and Die Hard. It's a powerful reminder of how interconnected the entertainment world can be and how small acts of kindness can resonate throughout careers spanning decades.
Thank
Thanks for the advice.
Can you identify yourself?
Not now.
Who are you, then?
Line in the ointment, Hans. A pain in the ass.
Murray and Willis would eventually come full circle, co-starring in director Wes Anderson's critically acclaimed Moonrise Kingdom in 2012, a film Murray cited as one of his favorite collaborations with Anderson. Moonrise Kingdom was a really beautiful, lovely movie, and I got to work with and have a wonderful time with Bruce, Murray shared during the interview. The two actors later reunited for 2015's Rock the Casbah, further cementing their professional relationship.
On the set of Moonrise Kingdom, a new film directed by Wes Anderson. I play a man in the film. I've made a few movies with this fellow Wes Anderson. He's a nice guy. He's made some good movies.
Murray's admiration for Willis was evident throughout the interview as he spoke warmly about his friend, who is currently battling frontotemporal dementia. Bruce Willis is a good guy, a good guy. He was a good friend, Murray said with genuine affection. This heartfelt tribute comes at a poignant time, as Willis recently celebrated his 70th birthday surrounded by family, including ex-wife Demi Moore and their 3 daughters. This unexpected connection between Murray and Willis wasn't just one-sided. In a 2015 Today Show appearance promoting Rock the Casbah, Willis expressed his own admiration for Murray, calling the film his best movie, and praising Murray's performance. He is terrific in this picture, just crazy. I think people who know him from some of his iconic roles in the past think he is a wild man at all times, and yet, when I've been around him, he has a much more serious side. The story of their early encounter serves as a reminder of the unpredictable nature of success in Hollywood. Willis, who would later return to SNL as a host in both 1989 and 2013, had no way of knowing as he restocked snacks in the dressing rooms that he would one day be on that same stage as one of the industry's biggest stars. Similarly, Murray couldn't have predicted that the young page would eventually become his co-star in multiple films.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm very happy to be here. This is the 500th broadcast of Saturday Night Live.
This revelation joins other fascinating pre-fame connections between celebrities that have emerged over the years. As Cohen noted during the interview, Harrison Ford once worked as part of the camera crew for The Doors for a week and a half, while Samuel L. Jackson worked as a security guard at Manhattan Plaza, where numerous celebrities lived. These stories highlight the often circuitous and unpredictable paths to stardom that many of Hollywood's biggest names have followed. This unexpected link adds depth to their appreciation of their work together for fans of both actors. Knowing that Willis once served Murray snacks makes their scenes in Moonrise Kingdom, where they share a complex dynamic as Captain Sharp, Willis, and Mr. Bishop, Murray, all the more fascinating to watch. Their natural chemistry in the film can perhaps be attributed to this long-standing connection that began decades before. Murray's willingness to share this personal story also offers a glimpse into his character. Despite his reputation for being somewhat elusive and selective about his public appearances, his warm recollection of Willis demonstrates the value he places on authentic human connections in an industry often criticized for its superficiality. His emotional acknowledgement of Willis's current health struggles further highlights the genuine bond between these two legendary actors. As Willis continues to battle dementia with the support of his blended family, Murray's touching tribute serves as a reminder of the impact Willis has had not just on audiences worldwide, but on his colleagues in the entertainment industry. From humble beginnings as an NBC page to international stardom, Willis's journey is all the more remarkable when viewed through the lens of this newfound connection to another Hollywood legend. What do you think about this amazing connection between Bill Murray and Bruce Willis? Does it change how you view their work together in films like Moonrise Kingdom? And what other surprising pre-fame connections might exist between today's biggest Hollywood stars that we haven't yet discovered? This unexpected revelation reminds us that even the biggest stars had to start somewhere, and that kindness to those on their way up can create lasting bonds that transcend decades in the entertainment industry. Share your thoughts in the comments section and subscribe to our channel for more updates.
As a middle-aged womanizer whose life is in neutral, he is sent an anonymous letter informing him he has a 19-year-old son.
Legendary actor and comedian Bill Murray has just opened up about one of his biggest regrets in his storied career, turning down a chance to work with Hollywood icon Clint Eastwood in the 1980s. In a candid interview on The Howard Stern Show, the 74-year-old Ghostbusters star delivered a powerful message of remorse that reveals a rare glimpse into the road not taken for one of America's most beloved actors. When I see him, I'm like, "I'm sorry, I wish I'd done that, Clint. I'm really sorry," Murray confessed during the emotional interview. This apology relates to a decision made over 40 years ago when Murray, after the success of Stripes in 1981, got a surprising call from Eastwood with an offer to work together on a Navy-themed project.
And I said, well, God, I guess maybe I shouldn't. But it's one of the few regrets I have, is that I didn't do it, because it was a big-scale thing. And I would have gotten I don't know if I'd have gotten a great Destiny. It was more of a comedy, that one. But he had access to, like, the last of all these World War II boats, and he could have, like, made a flotilla and stuff. And there was some cool stuff in it. And when I see him, I'm like, I'm sorry. I don't know what. I wish I'd done that, Clint. I'm really sorry. He's certainly well over it.
The original connection between the two cinema legends began when Murray, impressed by Eastwood's films like Thunderbolt and Lightfoot, made a bold move that many actors would never dare attempt.
A long time ago, I was watching the Clint Eastwood movies of the day, like Thunderbolt and Lightfoot or whatever the hell the movies he was making then. I was just a sort of up-and-coming guy, and I went, man, his sidekick gets killed, and he avenges. But the sidekick gets like a great part, a great death scene. I was like, I got to call this guy. So I called him out of the blue.
What followed was an unexpected opportunity that Murray ultimately declined, a decision he now counts among his few career regrets. When Eastwood asked if Murray would consider doing another service comedy, the SNL alum hesitated, concerned about being typecast after his success in Stripes.
Geez, when I become like Abbott and Costello, I had to do like military movies. And I said, well, God, I guess maybe I shouldn't.
Revealing the thought process that led to his fateful decision. The film in question is widely believed to be Heartbreak Ridge, the 1986 war drama that Eastwood both directed and starred in, playing the gruff Marine gunnery Sergeant Tom Highway. While the movie still went on to become a success without Murray, the Groundhog Day star now recognizes what a spectacular missed opportunity it represented.
1, 2, 2.5. It's one of the few regrets I have, is that I didn't do it, because it was a big-scale thing. And I would have gotten I don't know if I'd have gotten a great Destiny. It was more of a comedy, that one. But he had access to, like, the last of all these World War II boats, and he could have, like, made a flotilla and stuff. And there was some cool stuff in it.
Murray's confession is poignant because it comes from an actor whose career has been defined by an unorthodox approach to Hollywood. Known for not having an agent or manager and famously difficult to reach, he maintains only a personal voicemail box that he checks infrequently. Murray has built a reputation for being selective about his roles. This approach has led to both triumphs and missed opportunities. He's previously turned down parts in films like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Monsters, Inc., and Little Miss Sunshine.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bill Murray!
The revelation about Eastwood comes when both men are established legends. Murray has gone from an SNL comedian to a praised dramatic actor in films like Lost in Translation and Broken Flowers, while Eastwood, now 94, recently released his 40th film, Juror Number 2. Their nearly collaboration is a fascinating what-if in Hollywood history. Two artists with very different styles almost joining forces at the peak of their careers. Despite Murray's regret, he notes that Eastwood has long since moved past any disappointment over the missed opportunity. He's certainly well over it. He's a very resilient fella, Murray noted, acknowledging the director's legendary toughness and longevity in the industry. This comment underscores the respect Murray clearly holds for Eastwood, making his public apology all the more meaningful. The interview also revealed another interesting piece of Hollywood history when Stern pointed out that Stripes, the very film that inadvertently led to Murray turning down Eastwood, was originally written for comedy duo Cheech and Chong.